Hey everybody, my name is Matt Clark. I've been asked to do a quick video about my experience with the Opcity program, and I'm happy to do so, and I'm actually filming it live on location in front of one of my clients' homes that I'm about to put one of these on, right? We all know what those are, and these people actually came from Opcity, so it just happens to be kind of an interesting coincidence. But I wanted to just share my experience. Many of you who don't know me, I'm a retired special agent. I retired in 2019 after a 23-year career in federal law enforcement. And when I first got started in real estate, which was, again, July of 2020, so I've had my license now about 2.5 years, I wanted to do open houses, everything I could to get my business rolling. And one of the programs I qualified for was Opcity. I'll tell you that when I first started, there were only 1,500 agents in the program. Now I think there's 1,950 or so. If you're in the program, you'll see that as of the time of this video, I think I have 27 closings with Opcity for just under $9 million, and I'm currently ranked 5th out of 1,950 agents. I will just tell you though, that was not an easy journey, and so I wanted to share some things with you that I learned in this process. Again, when I started, I was $14.99 out of 1,500 agents, and when you very first start in the program, you get leads, if you're even able to win them at all. When they come across like an Amber Alert, you click, yes, I'll take the lead. They're generally going to be $100,000 or less. I'll tell you that my first closing with Opcity was a $60,000 condo clear up on the north side of Houston, which was about an hour drive for me. It was a young man it was actually a barber in Austin that was looking for a place for his mother, his 65-year-old mother. He paid cash for that place, and that was my first closing. But to get that closing, I probably had to go out on 10 different, I'll say I accepted 10 leads and worked with those leads until they either fell apart, stopped returning my calls, etc. My second closing was $120,000, and he was a mechanic that had moved here from Atlanta. And my third closing was about $150,000, and it was a gentleman who was retired who moved from Salt Lake City, Utah to here. So you'll find that a lot of the leads you get from Opcity are local. But I would say a good bulk of them are people from out of state. They're using realtor.com, which is, a lot of people use Zillow, but I would say most of the people that I know of that aren't from Houston use realtor.com. And so that's the source of these leads. So that means when they're looking at these listings and they're getting contacted by Opcity, that's the reason that a lot of them come from out of state. Okay, so let me just tell you that in those 27 closings, I have accepted over 300 leads, and I have tried to claim at least 500. Okay, so don't be discouraged if your phone goes off and you hit accept and you don't win it, I typically find that Friday nights, Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings are times where not all the other agents in the program are actively ready to take these leads. So that's a good time to pick some up. And now I want to talk about what I do with them. One of the first things I do with them is I actually ask them if it's okay if I call them back, because they send you their phone number when you get the lead. And the reason for that is twofold. One is that the call quality is not very good. There's a delay and it's difficult to talk. The second thing is those calls are recorded. And so what I usually tell people is, hey, if it's okay, they just texted me your phone number. I have an 832 number. I'll call you back and we can talk on a non-recorded line, and I think the call quality will be a little better. And most of the time people are like, oh, sure, that's fine. If they don't answer my call right off the get-go, then obviously that lead is probably not going to work out. But 90% of the time, they answer the call. When I call them back, we talk for a few minutes, just like anything. When you meet somebody in an open house, I try to get to know them a little bit, ask them kind of what their needs are, and then I just treat them like any other lead, whether it comes from an open house or from relocation or from Opcity, or just even a referral from a friend. If you think about it, what do? We get to know people, we love on them, we work really hard to help them. And I feel like if you work with 10 people, 3 of them might not call you back anymore, 2 or 3 of them may not be able to get qualified or lose interest, and 2 or 3 of them may actually be fully motivated and actually continue to look until eventually you close with one of those out of 10. So that's been my experience. I have been discouraged a few times. The only thing I ever ask people, I tell them, listen, I'm doing all this for you. All I ask of you is just stay in touch with me. Please let me know if you're not interested anymore, if your plans have changed. And most of the time people are willing to do that. And so for me, I'll just say this is not my whole business. This is just a small segment of my business, but it's nice because these people that I'm visiting with today, they moved here from Maryland about a year ago. $350,000 was the purchase price of this house, and I was taking them by a pop-by a couple days ago. It was just a candle with some candy corns because it was Halloween, and I'd never met the wife in person, believe it or not. They did a mobile close when they closed in Maryland, and then they moved here, and I've met the husband several times. But I hand them this pop-by gift, and they said to me, "Gosh, we're so glad to see you. We think we're going to have to sell our house." And I said, "Why is that? You've only been here a year." And she said she's actually allergic to fire ants. We all hate fire ants, but she's actually been sent to the emergency room a few times with anaphylactic shock because of fire ants. So they're now going to move to the Northwest. And so I'm putting the lockbox on their house right now. So once these people, you make friends with them, they become part of your sphere, your past clients. You do owe a referral fee for the first 2 years to Opcity, regardless of how many transactions you do with them. But again, I looked at this as these are people I never would have had the opportunity to meet if it wasn't for this program. So I found a lot of success with it. I have started sharing a few of the leads with people on my team. I approach that the same way. I just explained to the people that I'm going to have some people helping me on this, and that seems to have worked really well. So I want to encourage you to give the program a try. Just give it your full effort and see if you can turn something into it. And good luck to you. And call me if you have any questions. I'm always happy to help. Thanks.